Arlene Stepputat touches audiences as she shares her amazing stories of service and her passion for living with a caring heart. She demonstrates how the lessons of service apply at work, at home, and in our community. Communication and connections deepen. Audience members awaken to the power of their own caring hearts.
Whenever I'm with a group of people, an audience, or working in a workshop, my intention is always to help people discover the joy of who they are and to have fun in the process. Whether it's teaching people about the joys of being of service or helping them work on their presentation skills, I want people to discover that who they are is not only enough, it's magnificent. Do you know a reluctant receiver? You know that person, you spend a lot of time and energy buying them the perfect present, you wrapped it up really beautifully, and you give it to them, and they take it and they go, "Oh, thanks very much," and they put it aside. And you don't get the chance to watch them receive it. You get to miss out on the joy because they don't know how to receive. Well, you yourself might be suffering from what I call the Teflon Velcro reverse syndrome. Here's how it works. Someone wants to give you a compliment. So I might come to you and say, "You look lovely in that dress." And you'll say something like, "Oh, this thing, I've had this in my closet for 20 years. Or I'll come to you and say, "I so appreciate your help on the project." And you go, you would have done the same thing. And someone tries to give you a compliment, and it goes flying off like Teflon. Voom! Flick it off. Voom! I try to give you a loving comment. Voom! Teflon. But let one person say one thing that is in any way critical, and boom, we wear that like the Velcro badge of who we are. Ladies and gentlemen, you got it backwards. When the negativity comes at you, that's the time for the Teflon. Negativity comes in, boom. But when the good stuff comes, when someone wants to give me something, then I need to look at it and receive it and wear that as my badge. I want to share with you the biggest lesson I got in receiving loving from other people. In 1990, I worked in New York City at a place called Covenant House, and I was the director of volunteers. Covenant House is a center for homeless and runaway kids, and I supervised about 450 people that did amazing things with the kids. And I was so touched by who they were that I got it inside of me to write a little book that would inspire people to be of service. And I did that. And I did that in the back of St. Patrick's Cathedral, and I read it to a couple people. And they said, "This is good. You should get it published." And so I took a few action steps, and then I did what you might do. It's called the procrastination cha-cha. It's wait, forward, forward, back, back, back. Wait, forward, forward, back, back, back. And I did that for a really long time, and I'm glad you're laughing because you know that dance too. It's true. So in the interim, I moved to California, I got married, and I took steps, and I stopped, and I took steps, and I got stopped, and I stopped. And then fast forward, it's my 50th birthday party, and I'm a queen, and my husband is organizing this party for me, and my friends are coming in from all over the place. And at 8 o'clock, a woman comes into my house, and I don't know who she is. This is my birthday party, and she's all by herself. And as she comes in, my husband says, "Okay, everybody, this is the moment we've been waiting for." And he calls me up in the front of the room, and he hands me a very big box, but it's kind of light. And I opened that box, and inside I got a little package. And when I got that little package, I unwrapped it, and I unwrapped it like this, and it was a tiny little book. And on the back of that book was just some writing. So I turned it over, and I went, because my husband had gotten my book published for me. And not only had he gotten it published, he got all my friends involved too. And he said, "Let's be of service to Arlene. Let's give her caring heart back to her. And I was humbled, and I learned to receive. How many of you are volunteers in your community, doing some kind of community service? Wow, that's a great show of hands. Any Little League coaches in here, or former Boy Scouts? Oh, we got all that, choirs, all that kind of stuff. It's just amazing, and we learn at a very early age the importance of giving back. Now, I'd like you to think about who in your life was a role model of service. It could be somebody famous that we all know, or it could be somebody that touched you in your own life, and when you think about that person, they embody service. So who'd like to share some of a model or two? Yes?
Well, I always think of Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King. And what quality does Martin Luther King embody?
Peace, tolerance, justice.
Peace, tolerance, justice, truly qualities of service. Someone else? Yes?
My mother.
Your mom.
Yes.
What about her? What quality?
She was very empathetic to people.
Empathy, just being open-hearted. We have to do that to be able to be of service. Anyone else like to share? Yes?
Yeah, I like to think of my grandmother.
Uh-huh.
And she's a servant leader, and it's not by election, it's by emergent. I was allowed to share her with the whole community as I grew up.
So your grandmother was somebody that just allowed you to share her, that she
had
just...
love for everybody.
So she had a love for everybody. And certainly, those people that have a love for everybody is really what service is about. I'll take just one more. Yes, ma'am?
Oprah.
Oprah Winfrey. And what quality of service does she embody to you?
She just has amazing generosity.
Generosity. And those of us that have watched Oprah, it's not just the generosity, the financial generosity, but the generosity of heart, generosity of spirit. Well, I want each one of you to think about, whether you shared it or not, that person who's a role model of service for you, and to know this, that you can recognize that quality in that person because it resonates inside in you. You know, you only know that somebody has a good sense of humor because you got one yourself. So I want you to call forward those qualities of service inside of yourself, and it doesn't matter what you're doing. Because as Mother Teresa told us, it doesn't matter what you do for service, it's how much loving you put in the service that matters.